So today we're going to make this 1974 Ford Galaxie 500 run and drive after it sat for 2 decades, survived a tornado, and ended up in my backyard. So the backstory on this car is that it was owned by a distant relative of mine. He had passed away and the car sat from 1992 up until April of 2014. In April of 2014, a tornado came through and totally destroyed the barn that this car was sitting in, and it left the car just sitting there by itself. So after we got the place cleaned up, I offered to take the car home and see if I could get it to run. And I did that. I brought it home, got it to run, drove it around the yard, did a little bit of work to it, and they started questioning, what would it take to fix this car to put it back on the road? And I told them, I said, it's not a very desirable car, not a lot of aftermarket support. I can fix it, but it'll take a lot of time and a lot of money. Is that something you want to do? And they said no. They actually declined. So the car sat here for about 3 years during this whole period, and I offered to buy the car. I said, I'll buy it from you, and they said no. They wanted to keep the car back because it was their family members. So I brought the car home in 2017, and it sat there in the spot that you're about to see. I parked it there. That's where I put it. And then in May of 2019, they gave me a call and said, hey, we're trying to clean up the place. Come get the car. You're the only one who showed interest in it. You can take it home. It's yours. So I brought the car home in this next clip you're about to see.
So I have not seen this car in about 2 years. It's been sitting right in this spot. This is where I put it about 2 years ago. One tire holds air. I put these on it so I could get it to move around back when we had it at the shop. This thing shows 96,000 miles. Probably accurate if I had to guess. Probably accurate. A lot of stuff worked whenever I actually had it running the first time. Check out the front seat though. Still looks pretty new. Clean up the carpet. Have a nice interior. I sure hope this tire holds air. Make my life a lot easier. Come on. And there she was. Left a bald spot. A little close on this side, but it's on there. Not much I could do with the way it was working, but chain it down. I think we'll be safe. We don't have far to go. We'll just take it slow. There she is. Been sitting for a while. You can see the grass has grown up around it. I think my tires have gone flat again. Yep, that one's flat. That still holds air. So again, we've been sitting for, well, this car has been sitting since '92, and then it's been sitting here for about 6 months since the summertime. So see if we can drive it out of this spot. It's been a few years since I know it's driven, because I was the last person to drive it.
we're gonna see if it'll do it again today. So those of you who have actually watched the videos in the past and are not new here, you know that I typically mess with Mopars. Now this is a Ford, and I know we haven't worked on one of those, but I do enjoy my Fords. I actually do drive a Mustang every day. It's an 04 V6 5-speed. You know, a few Ford trucks. I like Fords. I'm a big fan of them. I mean, I even like GM products as well. I've had a few GM vehicles in the past, and I've even got one sitting over there right now. But I wanted to deviate just a little bit from the typical Chrysler stuff. Let's work on a Ford this time. Under here we have the almighty Ford small block. This is a 351 Windsor, and it's just a basic 2-barrel 351, nothing crazy. The last time I had this thing running, I believe I changed the accelerator pump gasket because it actually had blown, but it did idle. Best I remember, it was idling. So you know, we've got full function of the linkage here. It is electric choke too. I mean, that's a good Motorcraft 2-barrel right there for something. The thing we need to do though is actually take a battery and see if we can even get power still. You know, it's been a while since this thing ran, so another thing we need to do is get a good fuel system. And I still have my hose from the last time that I ran this thing, so I'll run this out to an external fuel tank, and the mechanical pump did work, so that's a good thing. We'll go grab a battery and throw it in here and see if we can get some power. Take a look at the oil here, see how it looks. Well, not that bad, not that dirty. It's not even low. Maybe we can run that. I mean, it's ran on it before, so I've checked it before. I knew it was good enough whenever I ran it before, but this is still good. You know, it does need an oil change, I will say. It will need an oil change at some point, but it'll be good enough just to make sure to run, and then we can change it afterwards. Got a brand new battery for this one this time. No more worried about a used battery. Which side does it need to go on? So there's our hot side. Where's our ground? There you are. So we need to go like this. Also, there's no battery tray because it's rusted out. So the battery just kind of hangs out in limbo, does whatever it feels like. There's one cable, and there's 2 cables. Oh, okay. Stay. All right, guys. Again, let me know if the lights come on. Anything? Hey, you got one. One here, one there. See if we got high beams. Dimmer switch doesn't work, so call that a win. So just as a precaution, I want to make sure that this thing is not stuck, so I'm going to grab it by the fan and see if I can turn the crank pulley down there while I'm rotating it. Yep, so it does move. The belt's slipping, but I did see it move. So this car never had a key when I got it, so I'll have to use this trusty little screwdriver I found. Stick it in the ignition cylinder. Sounds healthy. Perfect. So again, this is the inlet side of the fuel pump. And I had done this a while ago, so it was still here for whenever I'd done that. And all I'm going to do is take this hose, run it down into our gas jug I've got here, and then we'll see how well this thing can actually pick up any kind of fuel. So my hose wasn't long enough, so I will dangerously perch it on the inner fender. Don't try this at home. See if it'll start. Anything? I'm not seeing anything yet. Surely our fuel pump hasn't gone bad. That is a likely cause. You never know. Huh. Well, what we need to do now is pull a spark plug, and we'll just see if we can actually get spark before we continue. I don't want to burn our starter up or anything like that, so let's pull that #1 spark plug and see what we got.
So my first guess was to try a spark plug. No spark. Next on the list was the coil. It's getting power too. So then I pulled the cap and rotor. No spark there either. Still nothing. So here we have the old points and we have the new contact for the points. So I mean, this one, it's worn. You can see that it's pretty thin. So I'm just wondering, you know, I couldn't even make it spark off of this. I tried opening it and it wouldn't do anything. So I'm going to try this new one, and I'm hoping that that'll solve our issue. So we'll pop it in there, set the gap. Hopefully it'll fire it off. Now that we have our points set, we're going to see if we can cross it over and hear a spark or see a spark down at the contacts. So I can hear it actually sparking, unlike before. Now I'm going to put my cap back on and see if we get fire to our spark plugs. And I also ordered a new rotor button because I dropped the old one down under the car and I don't feel like getting under it to find it. So there we go. Now let's check this spark plug we had laying here. There's a spark. Still does run. He's only run off the accelerator pump, but it did run. Actually, it's squirting fuel now, but that's all it could get. Didn't want to idle right, but we at least were able to make it run, and that's a plus. Well, here's the aftermath. I made it out. 4 tires holding air. Car pulled out on its own power. The transmission was struggling a little bit. Might not actually be completely full on transmission fluid like I thought, but it was enough to pull the car out, and that's what the goal was at least. So seats at least look good. Carpet, not so much. The headliner falling down, but hey, car runs. Pulled out on its own power. And that's all I could ask of it right now. Just one of these big 70s Malaise era boat. Really just doesn't do much besides be slow, float down the highway, and drink a lot of gas. But I don't know, I kind of appreciate these cars. I like the way that they look. You know, this big ginormous two-door. You know, this car is however long it is, but it's only a two-door. So I mean, just think about that. These cars are giants. I mean, it's just as long as a truck is, and it's all metal. Seeing this thing, you know, go down the road with it on the trailer, it just about weighed the whole thing down. You know, it was almost impossible. You can see here's some of the tornado damage where I think that's where the barn actually fell on it. Thankfully, it didn't bust the back glass, but it did mess up the windshield. You can see, you know, something was laying across the front windshield, and it actually buckled that piece of trim right there. You can see. So whatever it was, come down pretty hard, and thankfully it didn't mess up a lot of the front. You know, it just kind of scratched the paint a little bit, put a little dent right there in the quarter, but other than that, the trunk was all that got damaged, really. You know, it's a straight car, it's a solid car, besides a couple spots, but is it worth fixing? And that's really the ultimate question here. So let's take old Land Yacht down here for a quick little stroll. Oh, that transmission's low on fluid. I'm trying to be easy on her. Let it pick up a little bit. There we go. Now we'll just let it coast. I don't even know if the brakes work. Well, they kind of do. I'm scared to find out. So I'm not gonna go too fast. Not fast at all. Yeah, if we put some transmission fluid in, I bet the transmission would actually shift out and not be so clunky. I think it's just the fact that there's a lot of issues going on with it. We'll pull it up to the house and take a good look at it. Power steering works great. And I think the wipers work too, but I'm not going to touch them. Yeah, the brakes are holding. Wow. I'm going to kind of turn it this way just in case reverse does not work. Or the rest of the car for that matter. This is a large car. Ginormous. But I love it. And just speaks to the fact that a lot of these older vehicles, you know, they last long. They were quickly built, but they last a long time. And that's what I like about it. You know, these cars are tough, and they're all metal. I mean, maybe they're not as safe, but they are tough. So you can see 92 was the last time this thing was on the road. So that's pretty impressive to see it actually run and drive after all this time. But what do we do with it?
boat. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, please leave a like down below. If you have any questions for me, feel free to leave a comment. You can also ask me a question. The email's at the very end of the video or in the description down below. You can also send me your project to that email. Order your t-shirts and your stickers. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been a very exciting video. I've loved messing with this little old Ford, and it's been a fun car to just drive around and beat on. You know, it's a good little car, and maybe we'll do something with it one day. But for right now, let's go do some donuts.